everyone. Welcome to Season 4 of Meaningful Makeover, Virtual Edition.
We were just chatting about some of the past seasons and reflecting on what we really enjoyed most about them.
I love seeing how engaged kids are in the space after all the changes have been made. And I love hearing the excitement from providers about how excited they are to see how engaged the kids are in the updated spaces.
I really enjoy buying all of the pieces, all the items that we need to make an area come together.
This season looks a little different because all of our lives look different due to the pandemic.
Rather than taking our whole crew in and transforming the space in a day, we collaborated and provided support to providers to transform their own space.
Stay tuned after the show for a quick wrap-up with budget details.
Meaningful Makeover is a makeover of early learning environments. Teachers don't often have the opportunity to see how other environments are designed. Meaningful Makeover is a chance to see just that. The process begins with an environmental assessment, which gives us data to plan with. We work in partnership with teachers and their coaches to plan for the makeover. Each episode features a different teacher in their early learning environment. You'll see how our environmental experts make over different areas, why they're making those changes, and how the design promotes learning opportunities. We do this on a small budget and by leveraging existing and community resources so that these are relatable changes that teachers feel they can actually do. The show is full of tips and ideas for making affordable, small changes that have a big impact. Welcome to Meaningful Makeover!
So hello, Brandy. I'm Jamie Phillips Jimenez, and I'm here with my co-host, Diana Simmons.
So great to meet you, Brandy. I'm really excited to talk to you today.
Nice to meet you as well. I'm excited. I've owned Brandys Buddies for over 17 years now. I have an amazing group of kiddos, very busy, several extra needs, definitely not like any other childcare friends that I have. I tend to draw kiddos with extra needs. I have the time and patience to sit there and figure out each kiddo and what's going to work best for them. Because we are like a true family childcare. These people are my family. Not by blood or anything like that, but they are my family. And these babies start with me, and most of them stay until they're in middle school. I just want the kiddos just to know how important they are. That's just it. I am so sorry.
You're totally fine. I hope that our makeover can help show them how important they are, and we can do something really cool that they really love.
Oh, they're pumped. They're excited.
Do you use a specific curriculum?
We like to get dirty. So any type of curriculum that's gonna make a mess.
What are your hopes for this makeover? What do you want to see?
An outdoor classroom. Everything outside. At the old house, we used to have the kiddos run laps first before we sat down to try to do any type of preschool, because it's what they needed. And I have one little guy, before he even comes in, he goes out front and we run a little bit, and then he's okay to come inside. But if we do not do that first, it's a really rough day, all day.
When you think about your outdoor classroom, what do you see? What does that look like?
I want a garden. I want an edible garden where they can grow, and they can grow what we're growing. We can talk about it. We can dig in the dirt and get that sensory stuff. A mud pie kitchen area, the pots and pans outside, and the music. What about like a raised bed? I mean, get some weatherized wood, raised flower beds or something that doesn't necessarily need to be the garden, but that could be the dirt box, not the sandbox. Things like that. maybe a little greenhouse. I mean, we have rain gear, we have rain boots. I supply all of it. All of those things are all things I've dreamed of. And now I actually have the space to have the garden and have all of these, but it's really hard to get started. So
I actually think those are great ideas. And I think that's something that we can definitely look into doing. I think that sounds really doable.
So excited to work with you and your kiddos and get to see how they like everything.
It was so great to meet you, Brandy.
you also, thank you all so much. It's an amazing opportunity.
Hey, Brandy. Today we're going to talk about an outdoor makeover.
Yes.
It's our first one ever. So we're going to need your help to make sure we get this right. What we came up for targets for your makeover are to create a gardening area, to enhance your outdoor classroom, and also to consider a curriculum. All right, so here's kind of a look at your space right now. So we're going to really be counting on you to probably take some measurements. So what do you think about a greenhouse gardening area and putting up a greenhouse where the kids can actually go inside and you can have gardening year round in there?
So I'm actually looking at larger than your large, just because with all of the things going on and the pandemic and everything, it's just more of a push to be outdoors. Have a way that they can stay warm but still be outside.
What are you envisioning happening in this space?
Okay, so if we do something like this, I think right now the goal would be to have the indoor gardening area.
Okay. Now, what would you like to have inside of the garden area, in the greenhouse? It seems like at the back of the greenhouse might be where you have like a little table or a little like planting area, and then maybe on the other side you have like some seating and something to keep kids engaged. And then you have kind of planters on both sides towards the front where kids can actually plant things and harvest them.
Yes, I think that sounds perfect.
Okay. And what type of plants are you thinking about growing? Edible plants?
That's always been, flowers and things are great, but I am definitely someone, it makes more sense to do edible.
Yeah, kids can just learn so much by seeing how the life cycle of plants work.
Shovels, I think, would be good, more of like the kid-friendly gardening shovels, because all I have is the plastic, inexpensive stuff.
And we have materials also. We leverage our community resources too. So sometimes we get stuff for low or no cost to build on the funds that we have to do the makeover. So that's kind of the fun part, is everybody kind of pitches in and looks around for materials that we can reuse for the makeover. Okay, let's move on from greenhouse plan. That's the fun thing. Okay, so enhancing the outdoor classroom. I kind of started a list of fine motor, art, STEM, music, considerations about supervision, and risk assessment.
I think that as far as the risk, other than kids being kids, then it happens because sometimes we trip over our own feet or things like that. I think we're okay there.
How do you see the layout of the space going?
So that we're on like a hilly area. So there's different parts of the yard that are raised. So that's why those pavers, I have a feeling they have another name, but the pavers are around that bark chip area. I'm not sure if you've seen that.
Yeah.
That's actually the space that I kind of want the classroom, the actual classroom at. And that's why I was looking at the cover I was looking at. But the greenhouse can totally be in an area like where in the corner where the swing set is. Okay. There's a perfect space for that, because I plan to make a music wall and have like a chalkboard on the fence or a dry erase. You can get a sign, and then so that we're actually teaching everything outside.
So I hear you talking a lot about natural materials. And I know we did talk about the music wall and using like pots and pans and recycled things, but I actually have some plastic music materials that attach to a fence. There's like a couple drums and different things like that that are needing a home. Would you be interested in those, or would you rather stick with the pots and pans idea? Either way.
That's totally fine.
How much time are you planning to spend outside in the near future?
I would love to spend the entire day outside. That's my goal, is to be like a forest nature.
So we could potentially provide or get some type of hand washing station outside, acceptable for licensing for just outdoor whatever, because you'd be able to clean off any dirt, and then you could use hand sanitizer if you needed to, for example. If for outside, what other areas do you already have portable equipment like balls and things like that for gross motor? We have lots of loose parts stuff that we could contribute, and we can look for some natural materials and maybe some art.
When my dream actually comes true, we would not have anything that you would look at and say, oh, that's a toy that you bought from the store. It would be, oh, wow, look at those tree rounds, or look at those blocks and they made those out of this. And it's more where it requires them to use their imagination.
Okay, I got it. That's great. You've given me a lot of ideas. Well, another thing to consider is a curriculum that can help you go in a direction and help you kind of lay out your activities for the day. So we say, what? Add a nature-based curriculum. Why? To promote measurable progress towards developmental milestones. The goal would to be to enhance nature-based programming by adding a curriculum. And then our kind of reflection questions were, what experience do you have with nature-based programming, and how much time will you spend outdoors, which you already answered that question.
Right. And yeah, I do not have a lot of experience yet, but it's something I've always wanted to do.
So I'm going to do a little bit more digging, and if you agree, then we'll go ahead and probably try to get you a curriculum that you could add into your program.
That would be awesome.
And we're here with Elisa Yair, and she's going to talk to us today about nature-based learning. Welcome, Elisa.
Hello. Pleasure to be here.
Why are programs wanting to move into outdoor nature-based spaces?
In the past few years, the research around the wide array of benefits that children receive from that type of education made it so that providers and early childhood teachers and people who are passionate about kids' development are really motivated to make this something that every child has access to. You know, I think one of the best things about learning from nature is that it is its own curriculum. And so coming to it with curiosity, wonder, awe, children will, of their own interest, find things that they want to learn more about. And so you end up learning alongside children. You don't have to be a botany expert or a biologist to do nature-based learning. You just have to talk with children about what they're curious about and then go look it up. One of the first barriers is thinking that you don't have nature around. And while it might seem like that, that's not true. We do have some nature around, even if it's a dandelion poking through the concrete. If it can be daily access to nature, I think that's great. But if not, that's okay too. And so you can incorporate field trips, partnering with zoos or nature centers. And you can also do a lot to bring nature inside, whether it's plants, doing little plant experiments, having a little garden or a pet. The next barrier really is clothing. making sure that all families have those resources, whether you find them or you support families in finding them. So another barrier is the weather, but mostly for the adults. So children are very active and they will run around and create body heat. But adults, when you're standing around just like supervising, you can actually get a lot colder than children. And so making sure that as an adult you have what you need, or that you keep active during the day with children, will go a long way to making your experience better, and probably the children's as well.
So tell me a little bit about any equity issues that you've seen over time with nature-based programming.
Yeah, so there is a national association called the Natural Start Alliance, and they have been doing surveys of nature-based preschool programs around the country. And they found that, it's predominantly upper middle class or upper class and white families who are able to attend. This is for a number of reasons, some of it cultural, but most of it financial. There's also the barriers of, understanding what type of gear that your kids need to be wearing, or different cultural concerns about being outdoors or muddy, and kind of what that means for what kind of state you're in when the child comes home from childcare. So
how is the risk management thing going? Like, I think people, when you think about outdoor play, a lot of times people go to, oh my gosh, are they climbing trees?
Yes.
See, Jamie.
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes children are climbing trees. There's definitely ways to manage that safely. And we encourage providers to have policies and procedures in place before children get started with those types of activities. So they know, all the adults know that the rules are that children need to have 3 points touching at all times. They know that children are not to be picked up and placed into trees. It really is, if a child can physically get themselves there, then they are more likely to have the physical skills to get themselves down safely or to stay up there safely. And so having, good discussions about safety among the adults and then between adults and children is a really important part about the risk management.
Is there a point where you do need somebody with special training to be with you?
Yes, from the beginning. So one of the licensing standards is that lead teachers and directors, assistant directors, supervisors, whoever it is that's in charge of the oversight, all have some professional development. So I think we're looking at a 10-hour PD course, but yes, you do. You need to have extra training.
What are some other resources that you would recommend?
So the first place I would recommend going would be to the Natural Start Alliance website. They have a number of resources there. Another resource that could be really helpful is learning about risky play. So there's a new book called Adventures in Risky Play, written by Rusty Keeler. And there's another website or an organization called the Natural Learning Initiative. And on their website, they have a number of one-pagers and resources about setting up your outdoor environment and how to design it with different natural elements.
Thank you so much for joining us today to talk about outdoor nature-based learning.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good luck.
This is a sensory path. Brandy mentioned this that she would love to have. Her idea was just for the kids to be able to walk on something barefoot and feel different surfaces with under their feet to it. So we've got bamboo, some pebble rock, some turf surface, and then I like the natural wood that I left behind. Just wrapping it up now.
So Brandy is trying to move into more of an outdoor program, but one of the challenges with that is cleaning hands without having to go inside. So we got her this portable sink, which is something she wanted. And the cool thing about it is that it has a storage tank for both the fresh water and for the gray water that comes out of it. So you can dump that out far away from where the children are rather than just having it come out right there near where they're playing. So I'm really excited that this will help her be able to spend more time outside. And it has a built-in step, which is pretty cool too. And a little soap dispenser. We're here at Brandy's. Let's go meet everybody. Hi guys! How are you? Are you ready for your makeover delivery? I brought you some toys. How's it going, you guys?
Hi. We are excited. There's a lot of rain out there, but oh well.
So tell us what your plan is for today.
We've already started removing some of the old stuff and spraying it so we can move it inside, so that they have an indoor gross motor. And then the greenhouse is the thing we want to tackle first. Then we can get everything moved into there and protected. So I think that's...
I can't wait to see them using the mud kitchen.
Oh, they're going to love that. That is amazing. That's something I'm excited to play with myself.
Sure that Elaine built that with her own hands?
Yes, I heard. Awesome. That is awesome. You did a great job. Thank you.
Thanks.
So I wondered if you wanted to talk a little bit about curriculum. So when we were looking for a curriculum, the main curriculum that people are using in outdoor programs here in Washington that I'm aware of is creative curriculum.
I just somehow got it on my TS Gold.
Yes, it is a part. So teaching strategies gold is the assessment that goes along with the creative curriculum. And so you already have?
I do.
And the other thing is that in Washington, we have 29 federally recognized tribes, and they put together a curriculum called Since Time Immemorial. And it also has all of the curricular activities there. They need to be printed and so on, but it does have a scope and a sequence. And they are really great because they help kids learn about the environment here in the Pacific Northwest and about the tribes on whose land we're living.
Right. That's awesome because that's something we talk about all the time. Yeah. I'm so grateful you guys have given me that foundation to get this started.
We don't want to keep you from your adventure, and we're scheduled to check in again a little bit later today.
All right. We'll see you guys soon. Good luck. Thank you.
Bye.
The greenhouse did take most of our time.
I bet.
But we put the raised bed over there. I think it's a lot smaller than we realized.
So we can send along a few more of those raised beds, if there's something
Or
else.
not.
Yeah,
I'm thinking maybe we should build our own, just because I'll be honest, I'm very grateful for that, but I do not think it's going to hold up at all.
So if there's a way that we can tell viewers, like if you have somebody handy, here's a great way to do it. And if not, here's a better choice than X.
And depending on where they live and what the climate is like, you know.
I don't know anything about all that stuff. So if I go on this website and order 2x4s, what am I ordering?
I would say just the 16-foot
Okay.
ones.
How many?
Say like 4 16-foot ones.
Okay.
But if we do the 16 foot, how many would that make? If you got 4, that would make a few beds.
It would make a few good ones too.
But we did get the mud kitchen set up.
Yay! That looks awesome.
And we weren't planning to put it there, but it just made sense.
Yeah, it looks great right there.
On the greenhouse.
So we have that all set up. I had things out just so that it looked cute for you, but we'll definitely want to cover most of it back up. And this will also have some seating in here, just a couple of seats. And then we have a few more tables, so we could potentially add. And then we're trying to figure out where we should put the hand washing station in this area. Probably by the
You have a
birch
spot where they're gonna eat, snack and stuff.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Right.
Well, I think that if we wash here and then they can just walk to the deck. Yeah, all we have left is the construction area and the music wall, other than whenever the dirt and everything arrives. And then just brainstorming what else we want to do.
Yeah. And I'd be really curious too, as you go, if there's if there's anything else that you're needing. We're still able to help with a few more things, but this is our first outdoor one, so we're learning with you.
What about little potting gloves or something? Like the kid size gardening gloves?
So our plan now is you guys are going to keep working. We're going to try to get you some 2x4s over there. You're still waiting for your dirt delivery. I'm going to look into some pencils and some gloves and see what else I can find. And then we'll check in tomorrow at 2.
All right. We will see you tomorrow at 2. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a great night. Bye.
How are you doing?
We're okay. Hunter's finishing up the box, the planner's boxes, and everything else is, well, done for now, but there's a lot more we're going to add to it. So
we got garden gloves on their way. We've got we got an outdoor nature-based learning resource book.
I have all these ideas and you're grabbing a bunch of it, so I appreciate it.
Yay, that is so awesome to hear.
Yeah, I'm just very excited. I told my daughter, I'm not very good with words, but I am so grateful and so excited. And now I just want them to come and see it all. You see, we got the tree rounds.
Oh, I love it.
So it's kind of set where the bigger ones will be sort of the table and seats, and we'll be moving those around the yard. We were just trying to figure out where to have them, for now.
So will you do like a circle time area with them?
Yes, we can do that. So we have another area set up there. And then we brought a couple of the tires out and just put some plants in there that we'd already had so that you can kind of get a feel.
Yeah, no, that looks great. We were doing a little research on the tires and it says it's okay to use them for non-food. As long as it's not food, then you're pretty good to go.
Okay.
Oh, that looks great. Look at that.
It brought nature into it. It's a tree that will need to go anyway, so we weren't hurting it.
I love it. That looks so fun. I can't wait to see the kids making music there.
And of course, we'll continue to add to it.
Yeah.
So that is your music wall then.
That is our music tree.
Music tree, I love it.
And then we just have everything in here waiting for everyone to come play. I have more books on order as well, and more learning supplies. So
it's looking amazing. Is that the walk path over there?
Oh yeah, I just totally skipped over that. I just felt like it should be right there into the archway.
Yeah.
And it guides them to go that way.
I think it looks great right there. You've been doing outdoor learning for quite a while.
I grew up on 38 acres, and I always dreamed of my kids growing up in something like that, and that just wasn't a reality at the time. So anything I could do for the children to get them outdoors and learning that way, writing in the dirt, making art with sticks, making letters with sticks, showing them all kinds of different things that you can use outside to learn. And we didn't have this space before, so we were going to a lot of farms and things like that. So really anything so that they can see how the farmers work outside, what they do.
So you were exploring the environment around you and checking out the different outdoor environments and farms and things like that. I think that's a great tip, especially for people that might be, there are even family childcare programs that are in apartment complexes.
Yes.
Or other things like that where they don't have the option of creating their own outdoor environment.
But also at the parks even, having them go beyond the playground and look at everything else out there, checking the trees out, what type of birds are in the trees, what type of animals, the leaves, everything about nature.
So I was wondering, have you ever encountered parents that were not comfortable with their kids being outside or not getting messy? And do you have any tips for getting past that?
I have our own little personal page that is specific for families. No one else has access to it. And then they can go through the past things that we've done and see, oh, wow, they're getting really muddy. And that just means we have a bath, or maybe we go straight home before we go somewhere. But look at what they're learning. Look at what they're doing and how happy they are and confident. They're so confident. And we're very big on, I do not have the families purchase anything. So I purchase the rain boots, I purchase the muddy gear, and then all of the families have now realized how amazing it is if their child grows out of something to bring it. And we just distribute it through the families, or we keep extra sweatshirts here, extra rain boots, things like that. So I guess it's almost, I don't know, it's built a tighter knit community in our little daycare family.
By providing that to everybody, it's an equity support because you're making sure everybody has access to the same materials and everybody can stay dry and comfortable. I think all of us are just so impressed with all the work you've been doing and how much support you've been providing your families. So I hope you feel the love.
I do. I appreciate it very much. Sometimes I question myself, but everybody knows what we're here for. So it's all about the babies. I'm grateful for all of you for helping kickstart this for us.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Brandy.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, ladies.
Awesome. Bye, Brandy. So at Brandy's Buddies, our 3 focus areas were to create a garden area that the kids can help with, to enhance the outdoor classroom, and to provide curricular supports for outdoor nature-based learning. Let's hear from Elaine about the budget for this episode.
With a budget of $1,800, we had several big ticket items we wanted to make sure we purchased for Brandy's program, and some items we thought we could make or have donated. Let's take a look at what we got. Our big purchases for Brandy were a greenhouse, hand washing station, supplies for raised beds, and some edible plants. We rounded it out with a few other materials. We purchased seeds, gardening tools, gloves, and soil. We also purchased materials for our DIY sensory path and other materials to use in all the learning centers. We had some great donated materials for Brandy, such as a DIY mud kitchen, kitchen utensils, and a music wall. We also got an easel, fabric planters, shelves, and trays for inside the greenhouse. And that's just to name a few. So how did we do for Brandy's Buddies? We spent a total of $943 on big purchase items, $706 on other materials for a total of $1,649, which brought us in under budget.
Thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, it's Dieta from Meaningful Makeover. Today we're going to make a watering can out of a milk jug. So I already have my milk jug here and I've already rinsed it out with soap and water to make sure it's clean. The next step is to remove the labels. I've removed most of them. There's one little label left on this one. There we go. And then if you want to remove any lettering that is on your milk jug, you can use one of these melamine sponges. So they work really great for getting out all kinds of stains such as marker or crayon on tables or other surfaces. And anyway, I highly recommend them. So the next step after removing the lettering and the labels is to drill some holes in the cap. So this is where the water will come out. So I'm using an 1/8 inch drill bit and I'm wearing my safety glasses. And I'm just gonna give you an example. You wanna make sure you hold this steady. And you wanna go in and then all the way back out so you get a nice, good, clean hole there. So you'll wanna make holes all in the top of the lid. And then you also need to make a hole in the back. So that way the air can flow through. So I've got one that I already drilled all the holes in, and I have a very thirsty plant. So here we go. We've got our thirsty plant. We've got our milk jug that has all of the holes drilled in it and also a couple of little holes here in the back so the water will flow. Let's see how it works. Oh, this is a thirsty plant. All right, all around the edges. So you don't want to overfill these, but it's a really great and easy way for kids to be able to participate in helping take care of plants indoors and out.